Okay, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. In this occasion, in this opportunity, in this channel, I will tell, explain, and present you about results of questionnaires. I give a title is COVID-19 influence on several sectors. Outline is first biodata, second first questionnaire, third second questionnaire, fourth third questionnaire. You First slide is biodata. You can look this slide. You can stop this video and look this data at long time. I next. I next. First, gender. This questionnaire taken from male and female. 3 people is male, 4 people is female, or 43% and 57%. Next is X. The most people answer that their age is under 30 years 3%, 40 years till 50 years 3%. In this questionnaire, I take 100% from one provincial origin, that is West Sumatra. Let's get the question. The most people have less education is strata 1 or S1. Next is profession. Have most people have private employees profession. Next question is, what is your job title? What is your job title? Two people say staff, two people say manager, 4 people say director, 2 people say business owner. Next, what is your monthly income? 4 people say under 3 million. 1 people say 3 million till 5 million. 2 people say 5 million till 10 million. Next is marital status. Not married is 2 people. Married is 5 people. No people is widowed. Next is number of dependent, including spouse, husband, wife, children, parents, and relatives. One people say 1%. 3 people say no. 1 people say 1% until 3%. 3 people say 3 people until 6 people. Next, I have a saving in 100% say that I have saving in financial institution, banks, or Syariah banks, or BPR Syariah, or BMT. Next is I own and use mobile banking. 2 people say yes from conventional bank. 3 people say yes from Islamic bank and conventional bank. 2 people say no. Next is I own and use net banking. One people say yes from Islamic bank. Two people say yes from conventional bank. One people say yes from Islamic bank and conventional bank. Three people say no. Next is I own and use digital money. May choose more than one. Two people say GoPay. One people say GoPay, OVO, and Link aja. Four people say no. Next is I invest in a digital platform. One people say yes, and six people say no. Next is I have an online loan. 100 people say no. This is first questionnaire. You can stop this video and look this data at long time. Next, 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 next. Okay, first sub question is religiosity factors. Most people rather with the statement I have tried to pray better since the COVID-19 pandemic. Next statement is I have tried to do some better since the COVID-19 pandemic. Most people say agree and strongly agree. Next statement, I have tried to get this work out better since the COVID-19 pandemic. Most people say agree and strongly agree. Next statement is I have tried to read the Quran better since the COVID-19 pandemic. Most people say strongly agree. Next is social factors. First statement is my family has an influence on my shopping behavior. Most people say agree. Next statement is my friend influenced my shopping behavior. Most people say disagree. Next statement is social media has an influence on my shopping behavior. Most people say rather agree and agree. Next statement is the environment has an influence on my shopping behavior. Most people say rather agree and agree. Next statement is my family has an influence on my saving behavior. Most people say agree. Next statement is my friend influenced my saving behavior. Most people say strongly disagree and disagree. Next statement is social media has an effect on my saving behavior. Most people say agree. Next statement is the environment has an effect on my saving behavior. Most people say rather agree. Next statement is my family influence my cash holding behavior. Most people say agree. Next statement is my friend influence my cash holding behavior. Most people say less agree. Next statement is my social media influence my cash holding behavior. Most people say agree and less agree. Next statement is the environment affected my cash holding behavior. Most people say agree. Next is knowledge factors. The statement is I keep abreast of news about COVID-19. Most people say agree. Next statement is I keep abreast of news about government policies regarding COVID-19. Most people say agree. Next statement is I sought information about how to protect myself from being exposed to COVID-19. Most people say strongly agree. Next statement is I sought information about how to find solution to overcome the impact of COVID-19 for myself and my family. Most people say strongly agree. Next is psychological factors. The statement is, after COVID-19, I feel tougher. Most people say agree and strongly agree. Next statement is, after COVID-19, I felt more patient. Most people say strongly agree. Next statement is, after COVID-19, I feel happier. Most people say rather agree and strongly agree. Next statement is, after COVID-19, I feel calmer. Most people say agree. Next is economic factors. The statement is, after COVID-19, my income increased. Most people say rather agree. Next statement is, after COVID-19, my expense increased. Most people say agree. Next statement is, after COVID-19, my asset increased. Most people say strongly disagree, less agree, and rather agree. Next statement is, after COVID-19, my saving increased. Most people say agree. Next is confidence. Statement is, I'm sure that economic condition will improve soon. Most people say strongly agree. Next statement is, I am sure that social conditions will soon improve. Most people say agree. Next statement is, I am sure the spiritual condition of the community will soon improve. Most people say agree. Next statement is, I am sure the condition of public health will soon improve. Most people say agree. Next is second questionnaire. You can stop this video and look this at long time. Next, 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 next. Next is sub-question of supply of basic goods. Statement is, after entering the COVID pandemic period, the price of basic goods in my domicile are still stable. Most people say less agree and rather agree. Next statement is, after entering the COVID pandemic period, staples in my domicile area are still easily accessible. Most people say rather agree. Next statement is, after entering the COVID pandemic period, the number of staples in my domicile was still sufficiently available. Most people say less agree, rather agree, and agree. Next statement is, after entering the COVID pandemic period, the number of sellers of basic goods in my domicile increased. Most people say rather agree. Next is shopping behavior. Statement is, after entering the COVID pandemic period, I prepared far more food stocks.